Monday. How are you guys? Hello. It is late night cookie baking. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hello, hello. So today, my favorite for day 27 of the things I am loving, things I am thankful for, things I am thoroughly enjoying, collab with Tim and Chloe, they are linked in the description bar below, is cassava flour. Particularly Otto's cassava flour, I suppose, because I've never tried any other cassava flour. I love this. This is ground yucca root, and it is fantastic. I use it to make little tortilla shells. Hi Kira. I use it to make cookies, and that's what I'm going to show you today. I use it to make a whole bunch of things. A thickener. My mother-in-law actually made it as a thickener for gravy for Thanksgiving, which was fantastic. So today I am making cookies out of cassava flour. This was a requested recipe from Simply Sherry, from Sherry. Sherry, now this recipe, I'm just telling you here, is the way I'm making it is not vegan, but it can be made vegan with leaving out the gelatin that's going to be in here. You can change it out for agar-agar, I think that's how you say it, A-G-A-R powder, instead of gelatin. You can do that, or you could add flax seeds and make a little flaxseed egg if you wanted to do that. So these are going to be kind of ginger snap-ish types of cookies, and I will have the recipe in the description of this video after I am done making this here for you guys. So the ingredients are pretty basic, actually. Hi, Liz. Oh, good. Yes, I'm so glad you caught my live video. I hope you're feeling good. Hi, Amber. Hello, hello. So the recipe is pretty much this. I'm having the recipe because I don't need like 800,000 cookies. So it calls for a half a cup of cassava flour. Now, I get this from my local Whole Foods. They carry it there. My hair looks fantastic. Oh, thanks, Loving Whimsy. I appreciate that. I actually cut my hair the other day. That was delightful. I will, I'll talk about that video of how I learned how to cut my hair in another video. But so I get this from Whole Foods. You can also get it from Thrive Market or Amazon. Thrive Market, I think, is who has the best deal of all three, but if you're in a pinch, I mean, it's only like $1 cheaper or something than getting it from your local Whole Foods. And this is a 2-pound bag, and this lasts us a good couple of months at least, because we don't use cassava flour all the time. So it calls for a half a cup of cassava flour and then a bunch of spices. So my Young Living folks, you can use your Vitality oils here. So the ones I have pulled out are thieves, ginger, cinnamon bark, and clove. So you can use these if you are Young Living oil users. If you're not, you can just use the powdered variety. So I've got, let's see, 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. I'm probably gonna up my cinnamon amount because I love cinnamon. And then also a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a little bit of baking soda, some oil of some kind. This calls for like duck fat, but I'm actually just gonna use, what do I have here? Almond oil? No, what do I have? Olive oil is what I have in front of me. And it also calls for maple syrup and molasses, but we're pretty sugar-free at this point in our house, so instead, I'm gonna mash up a banana and use that as my sweetener. You could also use applesauce as well if you wanted to do that instead of an actual sweetener. And then you need a little bit of gelatin and some water just to kind of help it bind together. But like I said before, you could use a flax egg, which is, I think, a tablespoon of flax seeds with about like a tablespoon and a half of water. Mix it up and just let it sit until it kind of gets jelly. You could also use chia seeds if you wanted to do that, or agar-agar powder instead of gelatin. So those of you guys who bake vegan or egg-free, you guys know the egg replacer options that are out there for you. I'm like preaching to the choir right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get going here. So first, let me move you guys over. I'm gonna kind of tilt you guys down so you can see my bowl here. Hold on. My tripod is not the best tripod in the world. Okay, there we go. That will work. We'll just make do. Can you guys see this bowl okay? All right, so here is this is the recipe that I use with modifications that I've kind of written in there. It's called Paleo Gingernsaps made with cassava flour. So how about that? And I kind of just improvise and do things myself. So, you know, do what you gotta do. So first I'm gonna mash up the banana. I'm using the whole banana here for a sweetener. I haven't found that this turns them into like banana tasting cookies or anything. For me, I haven't noticed that. but I haven't eaten like a traditional cookie in a very long time, so maybe my taste buds are a little skewed. I don't know. But that's the first thing that I'm going to do. My oven is preheated to 375 degrees. I think it's done. Yeah, it's done. So I'm just going to mash my banana first. I'm actually going to start with all of my wet ingredients here, just to start with. Now the cassava flour is a really good flour because it is probably, of all of the paleo and gluten-free flours that I have ever tried, works the best as a replacement, in my opinion, for regular white flour. I have used lots and lots of gluten-free flours in the past and paleo flours and things like that. And I don't know, there's just something about the cassava flour. It just really mimics white flour very, very well. Coconut flour tends to absorb way too much liquid, and so that's kind of hard to use. Almond flour barely absorbs anything at all, you know. So we've found that the cassava flour works great, and we digest it really well too. So that's a bonus. And these are paleo autoimmune protocol friendly cookies, if you guys were wondering about that. Okay, so I've got my banana mashed up here. That's going to replace my molasses and the other sugar that's in here. So next I'm going to go ahead and add in my oil. And so I need a little less than 1/3 of a cup. I'm gonna use about half of that. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball like my 1/4 cup here and do just a little bit less, because I'm having the recipe here. And I will have these this recipe in the description of this video as soon as I'm done with this. So there is that. I'm just going to mix this together. So that's the banana and the olive oil. All right, so the next thing I'm actually going to add in is the gelatin. All right, so it calls for 1/2 tablespoon of gelatin with 1 full tablespoon of hot water mixed into a bowl. So I have a tiny bowl here. There we go. All right, so I'm just kind of eyeball it. It's totally fine. It's about 1/2 tablespoon. And then I've got my hot water, and I'm gonna use a whole tablespoon. So you just wanna use 2 times the amount of water as you do as you have the gelatin here. And then you mix it all together so it's blended well. And then I'm going to add this into my liquid mixture here. Is this exciting for the 12 people I have watching right now? I can still see your comments. Hi, Alan. Oh, thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. We're learning how to make cassava flour cookies right now. All right, so there we go. Just going to pour in my gelatin and water mixture. This is the egg replacement, so if you are allergic to eggs, that's a great way to replace it in baked goods. All right, there's that. And I'm just gonna get this mixed together. All right, so there's that. So the next thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get my cassava flour mixed in here. So this is I need 1/2 cup of the cassava flour. Another spoon. There's this. If I can get it open. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to sprinkle this in to my measuring cup and try not to get it all over the place. That's the goal here. Ugh. And I think I am actually going to use the oils for my, in addition to my powdery, whatever you call like regular spice mix that I'm going to be putting in here, because I think it'll taste really good. I really have been enjoying cooking with my essential oils lately. It's been something that we've really enjoyed. Okay, so I've got that in there. I'm gonna go ahead and actually whisk it in with my fork because we are not fancy. Not fancy at all. Okay, and I'm probably going to use a bit of water here too, just to give it a little more moisture in the batter, because cassava flour does absorb a lot of the moisture from any liquids that you're putting in the batter. So with any recipe that you're doing, but certainly not as much as like coconut flour does. Coconut flour feels like a sponge and it totally absorbs every single thing you add in there. So I'm gonna add just a touch of water, teensy, 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 tiny bit. Just a little. And it smells really good. I mean, it smells really sweet because of the banana. So that's good. All right, so I've added about a tablespoon of water-ish just to get it to blend some. There it goes, that's better. Now we're looking like a cookie. All right, so the next thing that I'm gonna go ahead and add in is the baking soda here. So I've got my baking soda in this little teaspoon. We need half of a teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in and get that mixed in too. And then I'm going to put in my spices. So we got some options here. This calls for cinnamon, clove, and ginger. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to do ginger, just powdered ginger spice here. And it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. So I'm actually gonna just eyeball it because there's no reason to be fancy. I'm just gonna put it in my hand here. Let's see, that's pretty close. There we go. The ginger oil is incredibly strong, so I like powdered ginger for this particular recipe because it's not quite so overpowering. And I'm actually gonna do 1 drop of cinnamon bark, Vitality essential oil, as well as a dash of regular cinnamon as well. The cinnamon bark Vitality has just a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't know, it tastes really, really good. All right, so I'm gonna get that mixed in. It already smells awesome. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle in regular cinnamon in here too. Here's my cinnamon. This is the cinnamon I get. It is just from Whole Foods, regular Whole Foods brand cinnamon. And this whole recipe calls for half a teaspoon. So I'm just gonna shake in an eyeball. Yeah, that looks about good, you think? This is like how I cook. I am certainly not a measurer. If it looks good, I just go for it. Who are my people that also do this in the kitchen? I know there are some people that like must follow a recipe. I am not one of those people. I am not. All right, and then it's going to be, oh good, Kiara, see, I'm glad I'm not alone in this. Blah. So then I'm going to do about 1/4 teaspoon-ish of cloves here. Yeah, that's about right. Sure, looks good to me. Looks pretty close. And it smells so good. Oh my gosh, this already smells kind of like Christmas a little bit. And you can see how the batter is really starting to absorb the moisture a lot, which is fine. That's fine. These will bake up and they'll dry out and they'll be, you know, very cookie-like and fine. So then the last thing here is adding in some salt. And this, let's see, because of the baking soda, I'm not gonna put in a whole bunch of salt actually. I'm just gonna put in like a teensy tiny dash of salt. Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, and that's our batter. There we go. So these should make about 12 small bite-sized cookies, ideally. All right, so let me grab another teaspoon here. Okay, excuse me. Put that there. Okay, so now I'm just gonna drop them onto my parchment lined baking sheet here, just in little dollops, nothing fancy. And then I'm actually gonna pat them down into cookie shapes. Let me see, actually, before I do this, I'm gonna see if this will roll in my hand, because if it will, it'll take a lot less time. Oh, yeah, it will. Nice, all right. There we go. So I'm just going to, can you see that? No, you can't, sorry. That's it. So I'm just gonna roll them into little round, kind of like, I don't know, they look like the size of truffles, I guess. So a little bit smaller than a golf ball size. They are a little bit sticky, but not horrible, right? So they look okay. Not too bad anyway. They will stick to my hands, and if you wet your hands down, it does help. a little bit. It's almost the texture of silly putty that's been sitting out in the sun. Is that like weirdly descriptive? I don't know. That might be odd. I'm not sure, but there we go. And I am gonna sprinkle them with a little bit of cinnamon on top as well for the very, very last little bit, but they smell really, really nice. They smell like Gingernsaps actually. And you can, I feel like with these types of cookies, you really can't go overboard with the spices. Honestly, I feel like, you know, go to town, sprinkle with cinnamon. Like, it's that time of year. We don't have time to be serious. So I wish I could smell them. I know. They smell to me very clovey. I think I may have put a little too much clove in there, but that's all right. They'll still taste good. And I don't smell the banana at all in here. They'll just be nice and sweet, but that's about it. Like, they won't taste like bananas or anything. So, all right. So I think I can probably maybe scrape one more out of here. Possibly. Hello. Is it Mary? I don't know how you pronounce your name. Mary? Okay, so I'm gonna try one more and see if I can get it out. I think I can. We will just try it and see. So after this, I'm just gonna take a fork and I'm gonna kind of, you know how you make like those peanut butter cookies where you kind of use your fork and just smush them down? I'm gonna do that. These won't spread at all. They're just gonna kind of be stuck in whatever position that I have them in. So I'm gonna take my fork and smush them down into cookie shapes. Just so they kind of flatten a little bit. Kind of. And it's only us eating them, so it doesn't really matter what they look like, right? If I didn't have these on parchment, they would probably press down a little bit better, but that's okay. When you need a cookie fix and you can't eat any cookies that are like out on the market, these just do the trick. They really do feel like silly putty. Kind of. They're a little like slime-like, but they'll bake up good. So I'm gonna bake these in my oven. My oven's preheated for 375 for about 13 minutes, just until they are dry on top. Now this is the problem with live videos, guys. So I can either talk to you for 13 minutes if you have questions that you'd like me to answer for you guys, or you'll just have to take my word for it that these taste really good. So which would you like? It's up to you. I'm willing to sit and talk to you for 13 minutes if you would like, or you can go to my Instagram and see what they look like afterward, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Substitute for maple, yes. Absolutely. Thank you for answering that. Yes, Alan, that's exactly what the banana is used for. You could use applesauce too if you wanted to do that, if you had that at home. But since we don't eat sugar necessarily in our house, that's kind of what we're doing here. So we use banana as our sweetener. Yeah, Kira's like on the ball. Thank you. I totally appreciate it. So I'm just sprinkling the top with some more cinnamon because #cinnamon is delicious. Okay, and that is that. So come on over. Actually, I'll just put these in the oven. You guys know what an oven looks like. So, all right, so they're in the oven here, and I'm just gonna let them bake for 13 minutes. So there we go. Hi. How you doing? So that's it. That's how you make super easy, yummy cassava flour cookies. I should probably set my timer. Hang on. I would totally get derailed and forget about them. So yeah, so that's it. And they're paleo autoimmune protocol. These particular ones are not vegan because they do have the gelatin in them. But again, so many different egg replacers out there for you guys. So you should totally make them. The cassava flour that I like, if you guys are joining me late, is this one. Otto's cassava flour. Do the essential oils give them a stronger flavor? They do. So the thing about essential oils is that they're super concentrated. So there's a statistic or a estimation, I guess, that taking peppermint oil, for example, if you take 1 drop of peppermint essential oil, that's equivalent to 26 cups of peppermint tea. So they're very, very, very strong. And when you don't have a whole lot of other ingredients in your cookies, like chocolate or other things, I feel like having a stronger spiced flavor just makes it taste a little bit better, and it brings out the sweetness of whatever sweetener you're using. If I was using molasses and maple syrup, I probably wouldn't necessarily feel the need to put the oils in them. I would just use the powdered spices. But for us, since we have the Vitality oils here at home, I just use them. I bake with them. We put them in smoothies. We put them in all sorts of different types of dishes. So it does bring out the flavor a lot. I actually make an oatmeal in the morning. It doesn't have oats in it though. It's a banana and 2 eggs mushed together, kind of like you're making, kind of like you're making a pancake, I suppose, a little bit. I cook it in the skillet until the eggs are set. And then once those are done, I sprinkle cinnamon on, and then I put a drop of Thieves Vitality in there. And the sweetness of the banana just comes through, and it tastes really, really good. Thieves is a blend of cinnamon, clove, rosemary, eucalyptus, and lemon. So it just adds to whatever it is you're cooking. Yeah. So superficially, yes, the flavor is really, really good and enhanced. But essential oils added to your cooking just helps you, assimilate nutrients and all sorts of good things. All this fun science stuff behind essential oils. I love it. Super, super fun. So any other questions that I can answer for you guys whilst my cookies are baking? Anything else? I have how many days left of doing this? Today is the 27th. I have 3 more days of live Things I'm Loving videos. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is my 27th video in a row this month of things I love. Wow. You'd think I would run out of things, but I haven't yet. Although last night was questionable. So yeah, kind of crazy. It's gone really fast. So yeah, it's been fun though. I've enjoyed doing these videos. I'm glad Tim invited me to do that. You have gluten issues. Alan's saying, Henry, it looks like you're saying no more. You want me to stop, don't you, Henry? No, Henry and I are friends. I have gluten issues, and it's hard to find great cookie recipes that don't use flour or sugar. Believe me, I totally feel you on that. We are also gluten-free in this household. We eat paleo autoimmune protocol. So restricted diets, totally with you. I totally feel you on that. But yeah, I've really, really been liking cassava flour. And until we started eating autoimmune protocol in our house, I had never even heard of cassava flour until about 1.5 years ago. And so I'm so glad that I came across it because it really does work great. Amazing tortilla recipe is actually on the back of the package. These guys. Oh, wait, can you see? This is backwards for me. I don't think it's backwards for you though. There's a tortilla recipe here. Can you see that? There you guys go. So it might be blurry. It's kind of blurry for me. So what you take is 3/4 of a cup of the cassava flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1/3 of a cup of warm water. And that's it. And what you do is you mush this all together into a dough, divide it out into like maybe 4, I would say like baseball size balls that you just flatten out in between parchment paper, and then you just fry them on each side until they're just bubbly like you would make a normal tortilla, and they make fantastic grain-free tortillas. I love them using the cassava flour. It works really, really good. I made them into kind of like pita bread types of things, and they were really good. I made those last night. So they're super duper fun. I am totally missing your comments. I'm sorry. The last few. Oh, okay. Henry wants more videos. Henry's in my oil family, so Henry knows all about essential oils. I am totally missing this. There we go. Kelly's saying, I just bought the starter kit. Awesome. I thought essential oils were crap and Young Living was a money stealer. Not anymore. I know. Once you try it, you'll be a convert. I'm telling you. Wellness rollers are awesome. Yes, they are. That is totally for seriousness. I love them. Yeah, totally try making these, Henry. Henry's a very good cook, so he would appreciate those. Yeah, so with essential oils, I don't recommend ingesting essential oils that are not Young Living. I personally would not ingest any other oils that aren't Young Living. They have oils that are, here, I'll just show you. So you can see there's two different types of packaging, right? So yes, the flour, Henry, is from Whole Foods. That's where I get it from. So the packaging here, you see that's white versus the packaging that's yellow. So this yellow packaging here, this is lemon, all right? Let's pretend this is lemon Vitality. So this is the same oil that's inside the bottles, right? There's no difference in the quality of oil, the testing of the oil, or anything like that. The only thing that's different is that the white bottles are labeled as a dietary supplement for internal consumption. The reason for this is because an oil that is labeled as topical aromatic is considered a cosmetic, which is so silly, but anyway, that's what it's considered. And the FDA does not allow a cosmetic to be also labeled as a dietary supplement. So that's why they have two different labelings of the essential oils, right? So we've got the Vitality oils with white packaging for dietary supplements or for food flavorings, and then we've got the colored packaging. I know, Kira, isn't it cool? The colored packaging for like putting in your diffuser or putting on yourself or cleaning or whatever. So same oil in the bottles, it's just two different packaging. So I think Young Living has probably 30 or more Vitality essential oils now that are things like all sorts of citrus, lemon, grapefruit, tangerine, lime, all sorts. They also have herbs like basil, oregano, thyme, sage, that kind of thing. Yeah, you're welcome. And then they also have spices, so cinnamon, clove, ginger, nutmeg. But outside of that, they also have frankincense, they have lavender, they have peppermint, like Kelly's saying. They have longevity, which is a blend of like thyme and a couple of other things, frankincense and clove and things. They have, so you can take them in a veggie capsule and swallow them as like a dietary supplement, or you can use them as food flavoring. So there you go, crash course in cooking with essential oils. I've recently gotten into that. My husband has really been liking putting the Vitality oils in his shakes. I talked about this yesterday. He makes protein shakes. And so he's been flavoring them with peppermint Vitality or with frankincense Vitality, which frankincense doesn't necessarily taste the best, but it's good for supporting normal inflammation levels in your body. So it's just good from an overall health standpoint. So you can kind of think of oils in a couple of different ways, as a supplement or as a food flavor. So there we go. How about that? Kind of fancy. I've been napping at you. We only got 4 minutes left until my cookies are done. Although when I get them out, I'm not going to eat them immediately because they'll like burn me. But anyway, any other questions that I can answer for you guys? Ooh, sorry. All right, so Loving Whimsy is saying, why did you choose paleo? Solidarity with your husband's diet. It sounds intriguing. So the reason that I chose paleo, okay, so I'll backtrack here. Yeah, we got time. So in 2011, my husband and I were both diagnosed with having a gluten intolerance. So we cut gluten out of our diet in 2011. At the time, we were vegetarian too. And being vegetarian and gluten-free, we were healthy vegetarians, but we felt horrible. We had horrible like acne flares. We were just really tired. Our skin coloring wasn't good. It was like no energy. We just didn't feel good. So we started incorporating meat back into our diet in 2012. Still gluten-free. And we still didn't feel awesome, you know? We just, I don't know. So the problem was, what we were doing is we were replacing our gluten-filled counterparts, like the pastas and the whatever, pizzas and stuff like that, with gluten-free replacements made out of rice flour and xanthan gum and guar gum and amaranth and, you know, all the different gluten-free types of things. Fast forward to a year and a half ago, when my husband was diagnosed with his autoimmune disease, I knew that AIP was going to be the best route for him to go. And that was, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to go strict paleo because I was going to be cooking his meals, first of all. And second of all, I knew internally that was a better way of eating. I knew that gluten-free grains and like the processed treats and all of that. If you look at some of my old videos, it's funny. If you go back about 2 years, scroll back 2 years in my channel and look at how I looked 2 years ago compared to how I look now, it is astonishing. Like my face at the time was like kind of puffy looking, and you can tell that I just didn't feel real good and all that. So going paleo, the whole reason that we did that was, because of my husband eating autoimmune protocol. And I just knew in my heart that it was just a healthier way of eating. And all the research that I had done about AIP before cooking AIP was all paleo. Eating paleo is just a healthier way of doing things. So long story short, that's why I eat paleo at this point. And I've been strict paleo for a year and a half, and I feel better now than I had since 2000 and probably 10, which is a long time. That's 7 years. 7 years is a long time. So anyway, I didn't think of putting it in my smoothies. How many drops? Just one. One drop, Kelly, especially since you're new to using essential oils, I would start with one drop because the oils are very, very strong, like incredibly strong. So in a smoothie, like even if you're doing like a whole bunch of fruit together or whatever, one drop will be plenty for you for sure. Yeah, you're welcome. I highly recommend, if there's two things that I could recommend, you're welcome, to somebody wanting to get healthy. It would be these two things. Say it with me. Paleo and essential oils. That's it. That's what I would recommend to somebody who is saying, I feel blech, whatever. That's just, what I would recommend. Is it really expensive to eat paleo compared to just gluten-free? It's interesting because the gluten-free prepackaged stuff is expensive, right? Like gluten-free, like cookies and things like that. When you eat paleo, you're kind of going back in time a little bit. You're eating just a whole foods, fruit, vegetables, meat, nuts, seeds kind of diet. And so the thought of recipes and that kind of thing kind of goes out the window. You go back to eating just normal, real people food. From a cost standpoint, I would have said yes if this was about 3 months ago. Since Amazon bought Whole Foods, I'm telling you, stand by, our grocery bill has dropped by a long shot. We tend to shop farmers markets in the summer when we can, just because it's cheaper to get our produce locally. And we do shop seasonally at Whole Foods or at Trader Joe's or wherever. So in the wintertime, we stock up on squashes and carrots and citrus and things that are in season rather than trying to get these other things that are out of season. And I haven't really noticed. The biggest difference that I noticed was when we went from eating vegetarian to not vegetarian, because I feel like meat for our budget is the most expensive thing that we buy. But as far as eating paleo versus traditional gluten-free, no, I haven't really noticed any difference. And actually, we don't eat out at this point now, so our eat out budget has kind of just transferred to our grocery budget. So I haven't really noticed too much of a difference. Autoimmune protocol, however, can take a little bit of a hit just because you're being so focused on nutrient dense foods, and paleo is that way to some regard too. But if you start eating like organ meats and things like that are really, really cheap, that's a good cost savings. Or if you go with canned sardines and canned oysters and stuff, another cost savings. So, you can kind of pick and choose your battles. But it is a little bit different, I suppose, just slightly, than eating traditional gluten-free. But yeah, our biggest hit actually was going vegetarian, from vegetarian to gluten-free vegetarian, and then gluten-free to paleo now. When you get them in season, do you can? I don't can. I do freeze. That's what I do. Most of our vegetables, I'm going to get this out. Hang on. Here, come with me. So most of our vegetables that we eat now are frozen unless they're in season. I do a fair amount of freezing things though. I don't can. That kind of freaks me out because I'm scared I'm going to do it wrong and get like botulism, and I just don't want to do that. But yeah, I do get a lot of, oh, these smell so good. Look how good these cookies look. Can you see these? I'm not going to dump them on the floor. Hopefully. There we go. And they smell amazing. They smell so good. But yeah, freezing has been amazing. Also, my Instant Pot has been incredibly helpful as well. Making freezer meals for the Instant Pot, even better. So it just takes a little bit of pre-planning, I suppose, but not a lot. You know, once you get into your food routine, it's really not a big transition at all. Like, it was a big transition probably for the first 2 weeks that we were paleo and autoimmune protocol in this house. After the first 2 weeks, easy peasy, smooth sailing. It was not a problem at all. So I highly encourage everybody, to take a look at paleo. Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm happy to do it. Oh geez, my mom's texting me. Oh boy, I have to text her back. So anyway, so yeah, so these are my cookies. They're a little too hot to really handle, but I'll try to hold one up for you guys so you can see them. They're super delicious, especially when you're not used to eating cookies. When we ate gluten-free, we ate cookies all the time. We would always get those Tate's Bake Shop cookies, and we haven't had them in a very, very, very long time. I'm gonna try not to burn myself. Hang on. Just hold it here. Can y'all see? And they're soft, right? You can see how soft they are. Delicious, and they're burning my fingers, so I'm gonna put them down. But they make the house smell awesome, so it's a nice little cookie treat to have during the holidays. So there we go, Otto's Cassava Flour, who knew? All right, guys, well, that is it for today's favorite. I hope you guys are all doing well. I will be back tomorrow with another thing I'm loving, thing I'm thankful for, thing I'm enjoying video. We have 3 more left in the month of November. Oh. Sorry, I see your questions. Yeah, you're super welcome, super welcome. Super welcome. I gotta text my mom back. Where did you find information about following paleo? Is there a website or channel that would help me get started? Yes. So Loving Whimsy, check out the Paleo Mom. It's thepaleomom.com. Highly recommend that. That's Sarah Ballantyne. She talks a lot about autoimmune protocol specifically because she's kind of like the mastermind person behind it. Also, there are lots of different podcasts you can listen to. There is the Paleo View, which is really good. I also recommend, what is her name? Oh, it's escaping me. Her name is, Diane Sanfilippo. Diane Sanfilippo. She does the paleo approach. No, that's still Sarah Ballantyne. Look up Diane Sanfilippo and also Danielle Walker, Against All Grain. Those are great websites to check out. Lots of great recipe books and things like that. Their blogs are really nice to have recipes online too, but probably the first place to look is thepaleomom.com. Sarah Ballantyne. I love her. She is like my hero. Big thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Can't stand the taste of prepackaged cookies. Yes. Looking forward to the next video. Awesome, Henry. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, have a good rest of your Monday, and I will see you back at some point tomorrow for another favorite. Thanks for watching me. I don't know how to turn this off now. I have no idea. I think it's just the X in the corner. I updated my YouTube app, and I don't know how to turn you guys off. We'll try this. I'm going to try this X, and if I don't go away, someone tell me. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Maybe.